Alright, let's dive into something that's got the baseball world buzzing right now. Shohei Ohtani is back to playing catch. Now, I know what you're thinking, big deal, it's just catch. But hold on, because this is actually a massive step for someone like Ohtani, especially after a 2-week layoff. Personally, I think this is one of those moments where the small details tell a bigger story. It's not just about him tossing a ball around, it's about the potential return of one of the most unique talents in sports, a guy who can dominate both on the mound and at the plate. What makes this really interesting is the timing. We're in the thick of the season, and the Dodgers are eyeing a postseason run. If Ohtani can get back to pitching, even in a limited role, it could be a game changer. But here's the thing, his return isn't just a flip of the switch. It's a careful, calculated process, and one that raises a deeper question: how much can we really expect from him this season? From my perspective, Ohtani's situation is a perfect example of the fine line between pushing for greatness and preserving long-term health. He's been dealing with a lingering knee issue, and while he's been crushing it as a designated hitter, pitching is a whole different beast. What many people don't realize is that the mechanics of pitching put an insane amount of stress on the body, especially the knees. So when Ohtani says he's taking it day by day, I believe him. It's not just about getting back on the mound, it's about making sure he's not risking further injury. And let's be real, the Dodgers have a lot riding on this. They've invested heavily in Ohtani, and they need him healthy for the long haul, not just for a few innings in September. Now, let's talk about the progression here. Ohtani started with plyos in the bullpen, then moved to playing catch at around 90 feet. Sounds simple, right? But what this really suggests is that he's still in the early stages of his rehab. Next up is long toss, then bullpen sessions, and eventually facing live hitters. If you take a step back and think about it, this is a process that could easily take weeks, if not longer. Last year, his bullpen progression alone took months after elbow surgery. This time, the timeline is tighter, and the Dodgers don't have the luxury of waiting around. Ideally, they'd love to see him back on the mound by early September, but that's a big if. One thing that immediately stands out is how the Dodgers are managing expectations. Dave Roberts said any innings they get from Ohtani are bonuses, and I think that's the right mindset. Personally, I don't see him coming back as a full starter this season. More likely, he'll be used as a multi-inning opener, maybe giving them 2 to 3 innings at a time. And honestly, that's fine. In my opinion, the postseason is where he could really make an impact, especially if he's fresh and healthy. But here's the kicker, even that depends on how his body responds over the next few weeks. A detail I find fascinating is how Ohtani's dual role as a hitter and pitcher complicates things. As a hitter, he's been unstoppable, the guy's hitting bombs left and right. But pitching? That's a different story. The knee issue hasn't bothered him at the plate, but the mound is a whole different animal. This raises a deeper question: how much does the Dodgers lineup rely on his bat versus his arm? If they have to choose, which Ohtani is more valuable to them right now? It's a tough call, but I think the answer is clear: his bat is irreplaceable, and his arm is the wild card. If you ask me, the real story here isn't just about Ohtani's return, it's about the broader implications for two-way players in baseball. Ohtani's doing something no one's done in nearly a century, and it's not without its challenges. What this really suggests is that the sport is evolving, but so are the risks. How do teams balance the desire to maximize a player's talent with the need to protect their health? It's a question that doesn't have an easy answer, but Ohtani's situation is forcing everyone to think about it. So, where does this leave us? Well, Ohtani's catch session on Saturday was just the first step in a long journey back to the mound. It's exciting, it's uncertain, and it's absolutely worth watching. Personally, I'm rooting for him to come back strong, but I'm also realistic about the challenges ahead. What do you think? Is Ohtani's return to pitching this season a realistic goal, or should the Dodgers focus on keeping him healthy for the long term? Let me know in the comments below. Either way, one thing's for sure, this is a story that's far from over.